Welcome to Tiny Rails, the fun little game with a train. And any second now, mine should come wandering past. Any second? Any second? Okay, my train doesn't want to come wandering past. Ah, here it finally comes. This is what my train currently looks like. All nice and colourful. And this one is the Seaside Cargo Rush event, which I think I'm going to use as the name of the title of the episode. I'm somewhere on the east coast of America, or North America. Yep, coming towards Ottawa, and I'm going to head towards Augusta. This event essentially has you delivering coast down the east coast of the United States, from Concord, New Hampshire down to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I have delivered most of the cargo required for this event so far. However, I've left a little bit for each one just so I can record myself doing it, and there are, as is normal, 4 cars, an engine and a caboose, which you can get as rewards for this event. And once I leave Ottawa, I will go back to that screen. Now, I have a total of 2,750 tokens left from previous events, plus the 3,000 odd that I'll earn for this event, which wouldn't be enough to get me everything that I can get as rewards. However, fortunately, I already have the seashell car, the flip-flop car, the sprinkler car, and the bubbles car. These 4 cars you can actually get in the gumball machine normally, and I've got them some time ago. They've been on my train at one point or another. I couldn't tell you which episode that was, but they have been there. I don't have the engine and the caboose. You can only get the engine and the caboose once. You can get as many of these cars as you want, or can afford. But the engine, if I already had it, it would tell me that I couldn't get it again. Same with the caboose. So, go back to this screen. I'm going to get the tokens from delivering this cargo and get the seashell engine and caboose. The seashell engine has a plus 20 speed when equipped during morning. Not as good as some of the other engines I've got, but c'est la vie, and the seashell caboose has plus 6 cargo. However, much as I think this engine is beautifully drawn, beautifully done, really nice and detailed, it's grey in colour and quite boring to look at, because everything else is so colourful. It really stands out as being boring to look at because it's so grey, even though the detail is amazing. Right, I will now set my course down the... Oh no, it's going down that way automatically. I'll set my course down to Raleigh, North Carolina. And my train has stopped because of a blockage. Now, with this event, some of the cargo you can get is in Mexico, United States, all the way up to Alaska and Canada. And there's a few bits of it in Africa and Europe. But you spend a lot of time gathering ice cream in Eastern Oceania, basically Eastern Australia, New Zealand, etc., which is not too bad. The bad side of this event has been, and I've got to find it's all the way over here somewhere. No, was that it? Yes. There is a set of volley balls you need to collect 250 of, and the only place I found them is in Brazil, or what they call it, South America Center, but basically Brazil and Bolivia. And you only find them normally in 1s or 2s, maybe occasionally you'll get a 5 in one station. But for the most part, it's really slow going collecting volleyballs. So that took me a lot of time. Everything else was quite easy. Collecting the ice cream in Eastern Oceania was faster, and I had to collect 500 ice cream. It was faster to collect the 500 ice cream because the stations stock more of it, as they have less variety, than it was to collect 250 volleyballs. It was about 3 times faster So here I am at Concord, New Hampshire. Okay, it doesn't have an event in Concord, New Hampshire. I was mistaken. Let me zoom in. Ah, okay, it must be Boston. It's that little wonderful exclamation mark. I thought it was on Concord. It's actually on Boston. But I will go down the coast, or the seaside, as it terms it, and deliver this remaining cargo. This wants 10 surfboards, also found in Oceania. Where are my surfboards? Ah, there they are. That's that event demand fulfilled. I'm not picking up any cargo because I don't need anything. In particular, I've got over 3,000. I'll show you. I've got 3,234 bits of cargo, all sorts, in my depot. It's just stuff I picked up from obstructions I kind of kept and just threw it all in my depot, because with these there are 5 cargo rush events. This is the second one, so I don't know what I'm going to need for the next 3, so I just figured what the heck, I'll throw it all in my depot. This one wants a few pineapples. There you go. And it might be useful for the next 3 events, it might not. I will find out as and when those events occur, which is every weekend starting Thursday afternoon / evening and continuing on to a Monday East Coast USA time for the next 3 weekends. As I explained in the previous episode, I'm not going to have enough tokens. I'll collect those 25 and those 125. I'm not going to have enough tokens to get everything through all these events, so I may have to wait for some of them to come around again at some point in the future, some undetermined point in the future, that is, at this point. Which one did I just do? The apples. So I will pick the stuff up at that point. Anything I can't get, I will pick up in the next events, as and when they occur. Good old New York, that wants the last of my ice cream. Okay, I have one more ice cream than I actually needed on my train. And if I look around the map now, a load of these little blue stars on places have disappeared, because I've now delivered the total amount of cargo that they needed. So now there's nothing in Oceania East which is useful for this event, because I fulfilled those. Is there anything at Trenton? Oh yes, they want fireworks. Next is Philadelphia, which wants my volleyballs. Just let me collect any more tokens. Almost 5,000. Another 750. Another 850 in total. So I'll end up with 5,825, I think. Here's all my volleyballs, all 97 that I'm currently carrying on my train. Yes, there's a few other bits and pieces because I ran into an obstruction along the way after I picked this cargo up for delivery. But that should now give me that one. Raleigh, North Carolina and Dover, Delaware. The only 2 stops I've got left. I'm coming up to Dover. And it's now night time, so I can't really show off my train. There's 1 strawberry outstanding. It's going to go to Baltimore. Okay, 5,775. Apparently I couldn't count when I was talking about it just a minute ago. How surprising, me making a mistake. Nothing I want in Baltimore. I've been to Baltimore quite a few times. I've watched quite a few Orioles games over the years. That's a good fun day out, is baseball games. It's one of the things I normally, when people visit me from England, before COVID and the pandemic and everything shut down and you can't go to sporting events, I used to take visitors to an Orioles game just because the sporting event is so much more fan-friendly, more fun than the experience of going to stadiums in England or soccer stadiums or pretty much any kind of sporting stadium in England. Apart from the lower league semi-professional stadiums, which aren't great, but there's plenty of space to move around. But the bringing you beer and food to your seats if you get a club seat, the views, just the way you're treated in American sporting stadiums. And I've been to NFL games and even Oakland Raiders when they were in the Oakland, whatever it was. It's not this state. It's North Carolina. It's Raleigh, North Carolina is the station I need. Yeah, even in Oakland, where the stadium wasn't the greatest, you're still treated so much better than you are than in most English football stadiums that I've been in. But I do miss watching live football. Which reminds me, there's actually a YouTube channel called Palmer's FC, which is a Sunday league team, which is basically amateur football played on a Sunday morning after you've been drinking the night before. But there's a YouTube channel for Palmer's FC, which I'm actually enjoying, as they've been recording stuff for a few years now, about 5 I think. And that's the 4 watermelons delivered. That should be everything delivered. So it doesn't really matter where my train goes. Let me collect the last of... Yep, that's everything collected. So I'm now going to buy the wonderful seashell engine and seashell caboose. So if you already own them, it would have actually had owned here and I wouldn't have been able to buy them. But I did check these 4 cars to make sure I already had them, and I do. Now I'm going to put the seashell car and seashell caboose on my train. And once daylight hits, I'll show off my train. As I was saying, Palmer's FC. It's it's quite a large engine. It's a fun channel because the guy who does the commentary on the games, of the highlights of the games, is really good at it. He makes it really enjoyable, interesting. So if you're a football fan, well, soccer to Americans, but if you're a football fan and you just want a good, fun set of highlights, yes, you can watch, if you're in America especially, you can watch the NBC Sports channel for the Premier League highlights, which I tend to. But for just a good, fun, amateur game, the level of football isn't that great, but the commentary and just generally how they do it is very enjoyable. So I can highly recommend Palmer's FC. Well worth taking a look at. Let me think. I'm recording this on a Sunday evening and I'm actually planning on uploading it shortly after recording, because the last event I recorded on a Sunday evening and it took me about 6 days to actually get around to uploading it, because I had a really busy week at work which kept me there for long hours. So by the time I got home in the late in the evening, I just wanted to eat and fall asleep, and then it's rinse and repeat. So I didn't actually get to doing the uploading until Saturday evening, I think. Oh good, daylight's slowly getting here. I can almost see the colours on my train. As my train is now just wandering. Off we go out of Nashville. As I just checking, yep, there is absolutely nothing else for me to deliver. There's still another 20 hours of this event to go. but there's nothing I can do now. Oh, okay, a big piece of wood in the way of my train. Some more stuff that I can throw in my depot. Oh, I better give it a quick clean and a quick bit of maintenance. Right, yes, my train now has the seashell engine. Still has the Yule log car, mainly because with cars that generate a little bit of cash, it holds 210. So my criteria for remaining on the train was to hold over 200 in cash and be open at least 12 hours. And this one's open 14 hours. I put the wonderful kangaroo boxing car on my train because, again, it holds over more than 200 cash and it's open 24 hours. This is the car, Northern Express car, I picked up in the last event, which holds 314 cash, is open for 14 hours. And the Koala Cuddles car is back on my train because it holds just over 200 and is open 24 hours. So the kangaroo boxing car and the koala car are back on my train from ages ago. Then this car, which was totally blue in the last episode, the tour train car I picked up in the last event, is now blue and yellow, or supposedly blue and gold, I guess. As is the minecart car, which again picked up in the last event, now is very gold around the edges. And the rest of the cars are the same as they've been for a while now, apart from, of course, the Caboose at the back, which now has 105,000 in it currently. Let's see, what else? Oh yes, I have about 26.5 million in the top left, you can see it. Which, in the run-up to the Christmas, the Thanksgiving event, there was a Christmas event, and there was, well, Halloween event. They were all on an island out in the Atlantic, which you had to upgrade all the stations, which cost you somewhere around 7-8 million a time. So that was what I was spending money on, and occasionally having a go at the gumball machine. Well, with all these cargo rush events, you don't have to upgrade anything. The stations you're delivering to already exist. So if you've already upgraded them, you've got nothing to spend money on. So I've been putting together a bit of cash by the looks of it. So with only 4 engines in the gumball machine that I can possibly get currently out of the gumball machine, and last time to get one of them cost me more than 10 million. I might have another go at the gumball machine and see if I can get lucky and get another one of the 4 cars that I don't currently have. And I'll just show this. I have 256 out of the 270 possible cars apparently, but at least 10 of those cars must be from the events, because there's literally only 4 in the gumball machine that I can possibly get. But my train is nice and colourful, and now the engine is at least nice and colourful. And that's pretty much this event done with. There will be another one coming in the upcoming weekend, which I have no idea what it's going to involve. Well, I do know what it's going to involve. It's going to involve delivering cargo to stations and running around picking up the cargo, but I've got no idea what the cargo is or whereabouts the stations to be delivered are, or delivered to are, if I get that sentence right. And yep, can't think of anything else that's coming up with this game. I think in the last episode I mentioned I was going to start watching Death in Paradise again. I've started doing that, and I found the detective less annoying than I remembered him. I also was, where my office is, there is a metro station, as they're called in the United States, or a tube station if you're English, which was heavily used by everybody going to DC for the Trump rally slash storming of the Capitol building. And when the afternoon arrived, and we'd seen the news about the storming of the Capitol and everything else was going on, the amount of police that were around for all these people coming back out via this metro station was incredible. So they were perfectly peaceful and actually quite nice. I was walking across the area where they had to walk across this square to get to their cars, and I was walking to Starbucks, I think. And they were quite nice and friendly and chatty and seemed quite normal. But I think the police were expecting the riot to continue all the way out to the metro stations, which was quite amusing. The whole storming of the Capitol thing wasn't necessarily quite amusing, although I didn't find it that shocking. Some of my American colleagues thought it was the end of the world. But there again, this is a nation that thought Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction at the Super Bowl was the end of the world as well. So American views on things are sometimes difficult for me to understand. Sometimes, well, most of the time they're not, but every now and then they have a view on something that's happening which completely and utterly bewilders me. And the storming of the Capitol and how seriously they're taking it completely and utterly bewilders me. Maybe it's just the stuff I saw growing up and how protests work in Europe, but it's just slightly odd. And on that cheerfully bewildered note, I will end this episode. As always, I hope you found this enjoyable, relaxing, a way to pass some time, or found it completely and utterly pointless and hated it. Nothing I can do about it. Whichever way you took this episode, that's your opinion. But hopefully, I will see you down the track for more Tiny Rails in the near future. Cheerio for now.